Hello my friends and welcome to this new class in your favorite course, Mr. Udaid Chemistry course. Today my friends we are going to go through stage 2 of our course, and as I promised you before, we're going to start answering questions of the British syllables in Excel for the international GCSE students. Today my friends we're going to start with the year 2024, the 17th of May exam. As you see here, my friends, we have chemistry, name of the subject, the units, and the paper 1CR. And as I told you before, the paper 1C has no difference from 1CR, just the time zone. So the same questions, the same required materials, the same chapters required. The difference is only that the 1C is done by the British students, while the CR is done by students from other timing zones. And as you see here, my friends, we have instructions, we have information, and here we have some pieces of an advice. As you see, my friends, these information for me are not so important. There have been a lot of uploaded videos on YouTube. You can go back to them so that you understand if there is any problems in these points, which I think are easy and so clear. Let's start answering the questions, but before we start answering, let's see this periodic table, my friends, and we all know how to use it. But I would like to remind you that the number here, downward, is the number of atomic number, or the number of protons. Here, the number of protons and neutrons, or we call it AR, or the mass number. Let's start the first question. Here we have, sounds like we have multiple choices. Let's see. So this question is about atomic structure. And I would like to remind you that I have a whole playlist in chemistry that contains 3 or 4 classes about the atomic structure. So going back to them and watching them is going to be so useful for you in this case. So we have here species. The letters represent the species, but not the symbols from the periodic table. As you know, my friends, sometimes we don't want to represent the elements with their real symbols, so we use variables like x, y in mathematics to refer to a variable value. In here, my friends, we use v, w, x, y, and z. For people who are a little bit curious and want to know what is V, for example, I'd like to tell you that here, the number of protons, which is called the atomic number. If you want to know, you just go back to the the periodic table, and you check which element has the 29. Here, as you see, it is copper. So V is copper, as you see here, my friend. W has 12 protons, which is magnesium, as you see here, my friends. Magnesium has 12. The other one is X, has 9. I think 9 is a fluorine, as you see here. Check it with me. Yes, we have 9. Again, this is the atomic number Z, which refers to the number of protons inside the nucleus, which is equal to the number of electrons when the atom is not charged or neutrally charged. Better to say neutrally charged. This means the number of protons and number of electrons are equal. We have Y has 6, which is carbon, and here 7, which is nitrogen. The most important thing, my friend, here is to check out the number of protons and compare it to the number of electrons. Here we have copper, as we said before. We have 29 positive protons, and we have 27 negative electrons. In the neutral atom, not charged, please. In the neutral atom, as we said before, the number of protons is equal to the number of protons. And as we said before, my friends, the number of protons in the neutral atom is equal to the number of negative electrons. In here, my friends, we see that they are not the same. They are not equal. So plus 29 minus 27, we have plus 2, because here the number of protons is higher than the number of electrons. So we have extra 2 positive charges, and the final charge of the atom is plus 2, and the atom can be represented like this for those who are interested in the how to represent the atoms. We have W, as we see here, 12 positive protons and 12 negative electrons. So this one here, W, is neutral atom. What do you mean by neutral atom? As we said before, a neutral atom is the atom into which the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. And we have X, as we said before, we have 9 positive protons and 10 negative electrons. In here, my friends, the number of electrons is higher than the number of protons, so the final charge is -1 because we have extra 1 electron. Here we have plus 6, means 6 protons, minus 8, which refers to the existence of extra 2 electrons, so the charge is -2. Here, as you see, my friends, we have extra 1 electrons, the charge is -1. Here, extra 2 electrons, the final charge is -2. And here we have extra 3 electrons, so the final charge is -3. And here, my friends, again, we have 29 positive protons, 27 negative electrons, so the number of protons is higher than the number of electrons, and the number of positive protons is higher than the number of negative electrons, and the charge or final charge is +2. Now, my friends, let's go towards the question. And before we start answering the questions, my friends, I would like to remind you of the importance of what we have talked about before. As you see here, we have, this is a neutral. This is called a neutral what? Neutral atom, because it has no, or a neutral charge. This is called a cation or a positive ion, and those are called anions or negative ions. Now, my friends, let's go through the questions by one by one. We say each letter may be used once or more than once. Let's see. Question here, number 1. Which species is an atom? First of all, let's remember the definition of an atom or a neutral atom. It's better to say neutral atom. A neutral atom is an atom into which the number of positive protons is equal to the number of negative electrons, and the final charge is 0. So we call it a neutral. The atom here is a neutral. We cannot say it is not charged or uncharged, because we have positive charges and negative charges, and both of them are equal in terms of numbers. That's why we say that the atom is a neutral. It is not uncharged again, it is neutral. So the only atom here, my friends, is the one that has the same number of protons and electrons, which is W. So, as you see here, answer of the first question is W. Now, let's go to the other question, my friends. Second one, which species is an ion with a positive charge? As we see here, my friends, which one has the positive charge? Here, the one with the positive charge means that number of positive protons is higher than the number of negative electrons. As you see here, my friends, we're making a quick comparison. You see only this, which is V. In V, the number of positive protons is higher than the number of negative electrons. So the positive ion is, as you see here, V, or we can call it a cation, as we said before. Now, which species is an ion with a charge -3? My friends, let's go back and see which is -3. Of course, it is Z, as you see here, my friends. How do we know? Because the number of negative electrons is higher than the number of positive protons with a 3. So here we have 7 positive protons and 10 negative electrons, and the last charge is -3. For those students who are asking me how do I know the charge number, we have 3 numbers to represent an atom with. The first number is the atomic mass, which is the total number of protons and neutrons together. We have Z, which is the atomic number, which refers to the number of protons only, and the charge number here is B. So number of electrons can be calculated by Z, which is the atomic number of protons, minus into parentheses B. And please, my friends, keep the parentheses while making these calculations. Now let's move to the second page. In the second page, my friends, state what is meant by the term atomic number. What is the atomic number? As we said before, the atomic number, or Z, if we write Z here, it could be better. The atomic number, or Z, refers to the number of positive protons in the nucleus, and the mass number, which is A, refers to the total number of protons and neutrons together. So the number of neutrons, my friends, if you want to revise with me, the number of neutrons equals A, which is the number of both positive protons and neutral neutrons, minus Z, which refers to the number of positive protons only. Till here, my friends, we have made a very good and quick revision, and we answered question number 1. And now, my friends, let's go to question number 2 in the next video.